to Alistair Davies Golf. I'm here today at the Forest of Arden with one of my good friends, Alex Fortey. We're going to be looking at his pitching action, and we've got him quite a tough shot. We're on the 12th hole, and we're over water, you can see. It's about 75 yards, and we're going to look at how his action stacks up, what he does technically well, what I'd like to see him do technically different. And we've also got some Trackman data. We can look at things like his launch and his spin, and so relate that to his technique. So we'll have some high-speed footage of his golf swing, or his pitching action, and we'll also watch him hit just a few pitch shots here now as well on this camera, so you get to see the full package of what Alex does, and then what we'd like to see change and why. Okay, so take it away, Alex. Just go ahead and hit a shot. Okay, so quite a nice looking shot, just drifting slightly left. But what you'll notice, there's quite a bit of divot there. And when I come back to look at the high speed stuff, I'm going to talk to you about the divot, and I'll talk to you about what I'm looking for with regards to divot from this kind of range of shot, and why he creates so much divot. So as we look at Alex's technique here in the high speed video, a couple of things that become clear is really just the setup is very much like a normal iron shot. Whereas when I'm looking at approach shot, I want to see players hit it much calmer, with a narrower stance, so they can control the spin a little bit more and have more finesse to the shots. The technique he's using is definitely more towards the pitching style for sure, but what I want to see from Alex really is a narrower stance, which will reduce how much his body's going to work, and also move that ball position from this right hand screen here a little bit more forward. What you'll see there is the ball position is quite a long way back in the stance. So with it being so far back in the stance, the tendency will be for him to hit down too much and not promote a contact that's going to be too high up the face. As we look at the swing itself, again, there's a little bit of instability in the weight movement, but it's nothing too bad. Again, he's a very good player, Alex. And as we get closer to the ball here, we'll see the club travels down, and you look at the kind of strike point there, you just see that it's high up the face, and you see how quickly that ball launches. And when you look at the Trackman data, which I'll put on this video just a bit later on, you'll see the launch angle is quite high and the spin quite low, which are the two things I'd want to see him change really. I want to see a lower launch and more control in the spin, but certainly increasing the spin from what he's got on this particular shot. And you just look at the size of that kind of divot there. Keeps his head down far too long, will be the other comment I'd make. If we look at the left hand screen here, you see the plane go slightly inside, but otherwise not too bad. As it comes down, returns on quite a good angle. Feet nice and quiet, which is good. So even though the wide stance, the feet are quite quiet there, which is great. But again, you look at the size of that kind of divot, and we'll just see there the ball starting fairly much a target and starts to drift left, but the divot is very, very big. So when we're looking at Alex's technique, it's more about trying to get him to feel that he's going to take less divot, make it more of a wider arc at the bottom, get the contact point in the club changing really rather than anything else. So what we see here with Alex's Trackman data is very unique. You get the optimizer, which shows you where the launch angle should be, where the spin rate should be for this particular shot. And as you can see, his launch angle is very high and spin very low. So I'm going to walk you through the changes we're going to make to Alex's technique. Essentially, I want less divot. A lot of the divot was caused by the ball position and the width of stance. So having the width of stance narrower is actually not going to encourage the divot to be less. But what I'm trying to do is make his body a little bit quieter, certainly his lower half of his body. I want him to make more of a shallow U-shaped type swing through the ball, to change the location of where the ball's hit from the club. At the moment he's hit too high up the club, causing too high a launch and too low a spin. So we're looking to get the location of the strike lower in the face to create a lower launch and increase the rate of spin, which will help him control the ball flight. So
let me do my normal setup, which has been, I guess, for this shot about here.
Yep.
Okay.
So I want you to bring that ball position in. So the ball position is pretty much in the centre of your stance. The ball's going forward, which creates a shallow angle of attack. But I want a narrower stance, just slightly, because I don't want to see him hit a full shot. I want to reduce the kind of the pace. I also then want to feel that you're going to have like a wider, more like a Steve Stricker type swing, if you like, for a pitching action. So wider kind of motion like so. So let's have a go at hitting one from that U ball position and just see if you can pick it up a bit cleaner for me. Strike it a bit lower in the face. Yeah. Better looking shot. So the divot depth, and I might show a little image of this so you can see, the divot depth is much shallower Still too much divot, but this is just a good player trying to react to what we're saying rather than having to work hard on it in the practice area. So good change straight away.
There's quite an instant difference there.
Yeah. So let's see how we do.
Yeah, cool.